How to win a woman over through text messages. Do you feel like you clam up and get nervous when you're talking to a woman that you're interested in, especially during text messages? You're like, what do I say? Like, you just don't know what to say to her. So you wind up feeling awkward or shy or questioning yourself. Or do you maybe feel like it's time for you to brush up on your texting game so that you can make a better connection with a woman that you actually like? Well, in today's day and age, we spend a huge amount of time on our phones, obviously. And I mean, I have friends who are literally buying electric hand massagers on Amazon to relieve the tension on their hands after being on their phones and computers all day. That's how crazy it is to me. And all this time spent on our phones means that a large portion of our conversations with love interest is going to take place via text messages. And that's why this video is incredibly important for you. But it also means that if you're not totally at ease with flirting via text messages, you're going to struggle with this as well. But hey, that's why I am here. So hello, gentlemen. My name is Apollonia Ponti. I'm a dating, relationship, and life coach for men. I help men master their attraction skills, and I've got numerous results as well in this, where you can see below plenty of testimonials. If this is your first time viewing my channel, I just want to say hello and welcome to you. I would really encourage you to click that subscribe button and the bell notification to make sure that you know when I post a new video and be a loyal subscriber. And to all of my loyal subscribers, I want to say thank you. Your comments mean the world to me. Please comment below after you watch this video, and I will personally respond as well. Let's dive in. So I'm here to tell you how to win a woman over through text in this video today. Maybe you found yourself in a situation where you met a woman somewhere, and when you were with her in person, things were flowing and you felt like there was a clear connection. But now that you've exchanged numbers, you can't help but feel that it's a little awkward and you aren't sure how to kind of make it a flow. And you aren't sure how to introduce flirting without making it feel really forced or maybe really weird. Listen, don't stress. It's a super common problem, and I've got your back here. So I work with men in this type of situation day in and day out, and they're always happy to learn that there are all kinds of easy ways to flirt via text that don't have to feel unnatural or stressful. So if that sounds good to you, let's get started right now with this work. So I was working with a client of mine. His name was Brian, and his story is actually the one that gave me the idea for this video. He told me he was talking to this girl and he really enjoyed spending time with her in person. They had already gone on a couple dates. And when it came to texting, he was noticing that he was struggling to figure out what to say to her and how to make her think he's charming and how to keep her interested as well. And sure enough, he was noticing that she was taking longer and longer to respond. He could feel the icky feeling in his stomach. He could tell that she was pulling away, and because they didn't really have the opportunity to see each other in person very often, he knew he was going to have to rely on improving his text game a little bit more. Because ultimately, he wanted her to feel charmed by him and to know that he was fun to talk to as well. But he didn't want to be like those guys that look good on paper, but then have no game in real life. That's definitely not what I want any of my guys to be. Your guys are going to have game in real life for sure. But honestly, I see this happening so much that I knew I had to make a video for this. So first things first, when it comes to winning a woman over through text messages, I want to bring to your attention to be aware of, first of all, the most common thing, spelling and grammar when we do this. If you're just all over the place, misspelling things and abbreviating for things and not really making much sense, she's not going to find it attractive. Even if you're not a great speller, which sure, I'm not, a lot of people aren't, but make sure that you at least read the text that you're about to send her. So many men make the mistake of neglecting this tiny yet mighty detail. Women care if you are eloquent, well-spoken, and care about how you put in the efforts to write her through text message. It's such a small thing, but it goes a long way. So think about it this way. If you're clear and you take the time to write properly, it reflects how you operate as well. On a deeper level, it can reflect how you live your life as well, on how you are as a human. It can show that you care about being organized, that you care about how you present yourself, that you care about being well educated, and so on and so forth, whatever. And hey, if you're not a great speller, just allow your phone to autocorrect or just point it out to her right away. All right, moving on. I want to talk about more concrete tips and tools I have for you in regards to this text messaging. So, like using open-ended questions is really important. If you text a woman and just say, "Hey, what's up?" or "Hey, how's it going?" she can easily just reply with something like "Nothing much" or "Pretty good, you?" These texts are okay every once in a while, but you want to keep the conversation flowing, so you need to set it on the right path as well. And this is where the importance of open-ended questions come in handy as well. And oh, I should mention, women love to talk about themselves. In fact, all people love to talk about themselves. If you ask them about something they really care about in their lives, or something that she did today, or something that she told you on the date she was doing, and bringing it up, that will get her a good way to start talking. So as you're dating her, you want to find out more about her interests, because it's going to offer you a treasure chest of opportunities to kind of check in and pull from and use them from open-ended questions to start that kind of text dynamic with you guys. But that's going to happen over time as you get to know her better. For now, we need to get you into the habit of having engaging conversations, text messages with her once in a while, not all day, every day, guys. That is so huge. So some examples of open-ended questions that you can text a woman would be like, "It's almost Friday. What's your favorite way to spend your weekend?" And this gives you an opportunity to kind of get into the purpose of a date maybe this weekend, or get into her head. Or you can also ask things like, "What was the best part of your day today?" And especially you can even throw in right here, if you guys have been flirting and on a couple dates have already kissed a little bit, you can say, "Hey cutie, was thinking about you. What was the best part of your day today? Question mark. Besides me texting you." And just put a winky face to that. You're already engaging in a flirting dynamic right here, right off the bat with her. What's really important is to understand flirting doesn't have to be a text. Flirting has to happen in person in order for it to be articulated through text. Another thing that you can send her is, "What's something that not many people know about you? Tell me." Right? And she can say it's a loaded question, or you can make it fun. You can say, "Okay, quick, what's something that not many people know about you in 2 sentences," right? You can challenge her to really be quick and kind of laugh and kind of smile, or 3 sentences. Because remember, you're on a text. So you don't want to go into this essay long text messaging, which I would never encourage. What we're doing and what I'm showing you here is just to keep it interesting until the next time that you see her. Many men go ghost because they think that they need to make their text business, meaning like, okay, I'm not going to talk to her at all until I set up the next date. And you're not really building any seduction in between. And that's really important. Every once in a while, you want to build that seduction. And that's why it's important to have a little text here and there. Okay. Another one you can say is, "What's the weirdest gift you've ever received?" And she can reply back, "Why, are you buying me a gift?" And you can just say, "Oh, only if you were that lucky," right? You can tease her, gently play for her. Or you can say, "Oh, I would love to buy you gifts, but I didn't think we were there yet, but makes me happy that you think we are," right? And you just kind of playfully banter with her. You're flirting already, okay? And as you start to include some flirtation in your exchanges, you can ask her things like, "What is your favorite way to unwind after a long day?" Maybe you can share a glass of wine that you're having at your home, or you in the gym. Not a bathroom selfie, guys, in the gym and your shirt off and you're flexing. Let's not do this. What I mean is just show her, give her a piece of your reality. Maybe you have a nice view from your apartment. Show her the book that you're reading with the view. These are seduction tactics, and also what I call healthy status inquiries when you do something like this. This is a way that you can also draw a woman in and kind of give her an idea, a visual besides just a verbal, of who you are as a person. Or you can send another text message that says something like, "What's one thing you find irresistible in someone?" And she can be like, she can tease you. You see how these are open-ended questions? Because when a woman is interested, she will tease you for saying something like this. Or are you trying to score more brownie points? I would literally reply this. And a man just being like, "You read my mind, maybe I am. So let's get back to the serious question. What do you find irresistible?" Right? And so now you're hinting, but also showing intent in these text messages, guys. You're showing her that you're a man of interest in her, and you're not shying away. You are interested in her. You're trying to date her. You're investing in her. You're not becoming the friend zone guy or the nice guy, but you're also, these are PG rated texts that can go somewhere a little bit more flirty. What a lot of men do in their texts is they're thinking like, I have to say something sexual and that means flirting. Absolutely not. Here's another example. "If you can spend a day with me anywhere in the world, where would you choose?" Of course, you would want to at least have some type of dates and some type of ambiance between the both of you that you're both attracted to each other if you were to ask her something like this. If you just met her online and you just said something like this and she doesn't know you yet, that's going to be pretty off-putting. You want to be able to build a rapport by a text message like this. And so what you're doing is you're showing her a little bit of status. Okay, this guy can afford to travel. This is great. He likes to travel, right? So he can predict traveling with me in the future. This is exactly what I'm looking for. You're showcasing yourself as higher status, typically when you say something like this. Here's another one. What's the most romantic gesture a guy has ever done for you? So I can start working on topping that. Ooh, I love this one with a winky face at the end. You can even put it in there. I love this one because you're not really trying to talk about another guy here, right? You get her in the beginning. What's the most romantic gesture a guy has ever done for you? So I can start working on topping that, right? This is so good because it shows wittiness. It shows confidence. It shows intent once again, right, guys? Now, what you're not doing is you're not trying to be a sucker, or what do we call them online? A lot of guys say simps, whatever. I hate that word. But you're not simping, guys. What you're doing is you're being a man of honor and you're going after what you want and you're showcasing that to her. And either she's going to take it, and if she doesn't take it, she's not the girl for you. And you want a girl that you can be playful with, that you can be in your masculine with, that you will respond and have fun with. These are great examples of things that you can say to the woman that you're dating. So basically, you want to give her the floor to talk about something extensively instead of just getting her to answer yes or no. That way more questions and topics will come up and you can make the conversation continue to flow. She'll get excited to see your text messages. And then next on the text messaging platform of what we're going to do to get her enticed by you a little bit more is we're going to need to talk about hooks. Okay, guys? I know that sometimes you want to start talking to a woman you like, but you just don't feel like you have a concrete reason to text her, right? You're like, oh, I don't really have a reason to text her, but I want to talk to her. Remember this. It should be fun and lighthearted all the time, text messages. The more intense conversation should either be person or phone. So you can also grab her attention with hooks like this. You can say something like, I saw the craziest thing happen today, and then tell her about a hit and run that you saw, or how a seagull swooped someone's French fries on and landed on their head, or something else like that's truly out of the ordinary to make her laugh. Or you can be like, hey, I had the craziest dream about you. And she automatically is going to think like it's something sultry and seductive. Oh, I don't know if I should ask, right? Now you get her enticed. These are hooks. I had the craziest dream about you. And you can just make it up the craziest dream ever, or a funny story, right? I remember when I was single once, a guy had texted me this. And I was like, oh, I'm scared to ask. What was it? Should I be even asking? He's like, yeah, don't worry. It's PG, unlike what you really wanted probably to hear, LOL. And I was like, LOL, no, tell me what it was. And he's like, what did he say? Oh, we were in a cooking class and we were in a cooking class and we were trying to make pizza, and I had burnt my hand and we had to go to the hospital together. And I could only tell you were just so nice to me and you felt so bad. And he just made up this, you could tell it was just, he made up this story about like how after that it was so crazy about him, and it was just hilarious, right? It just really shows that a man's putting in effort, but he's not taking himself seriously. Remember, text messages, you get more results when you're not taking yourself seriously and you're being more playful, guys. Women are so attracted to a man that has confident humor. All right, another example of a hook that you can send her is, you'll never guess who I saw at Starbucks this morning. Okay, so all my friends and even my husband know I'm obsessed with The Rock. So this would be a good cue on your dates to ask her like who she likes or something brought up, right? And you can just joke with her, I saw The Rock. And like maybe you saw a lookalike of The Rock and you sent a photo and you sent her the photo. It's not The Rock, but it's a lookalike, right? This is how you can kind of show her that you're invested, you're listening to her, you're interested. You see how these also show light intense, right? You're showing that you're a man of interest. Another example is, I just had an amazing idea, but get ready to really figure out the idea. Because the idea here is to hook her attention with something that she's going to want to know more about. And then you can transition it into continuing the conversation with her once you do this. You want to show her that you're playful and want to share things with her and that she's on your mind when interesting or funny things come up in your world. You want her to understand that you like to share positive things with her, and she'll start to associate you with fun and positivity and want to be around that energy. And this helps to deepen the bond here, guys. And of course, you can always sprinkle in a little flirting here and there, just like my examples I was giving you. I'll give you another one, for example. When you tell her that you just had a crazy idea, right? It can be that you bet you can sneak a McDonald's Happy Meal and a bottle of wine into a movie theater, and you were wondering if she'd be down to be your accomplice, right? It's easy as that, guys. Or you can be like, I have a really good idea for where to go this weekend, and you're the only one I want to tell. Boom, intent. Seduction lives in that. A man on a plan, a man with confidence. There's so many great details in these type of text examples I'm giving you. So I want you to try them. So now if you're liking these ideas, I want to take a second to invite you not only to subscribe to this channel if this is your first time visiting me or haven't even subscribed yet for some odd reason. And to all my loyal followers, I just want to say thank you for being a loyal follower, and comment below. Tell me how these text messages work out for you and also some more. All right, so we're going to go into a little bit more here. I know that sometimes when it comes to talking to women over text message and flirting with them, you don't want to feel like you're being cheesy or like you're just a run-of-the-mill pickup lines or using these on them. I get it. But what you have to understand is that there actually is room for cheesy flirting texts if you are able to deliver them from a place of confidence and ease. Those go a long way. You don't want to be overbearing or awkward or obvious, of course. But if you can have fun and say flirty things to her, even if they're cheesy, and put a smile on her face, then you're going to win a lot of points. Because at the end of the day, it's not really about what you say, but more about how you say it. So if you can say, if you were a dessert, what would you be? You're obviously super sweet, but I want to know the flavor. With like a Brad Pitt energy, then you're pretty golden. But if you say it with an energy that is really off-putting, it's going to be and come off differently, right? So even if you're saying something silly, just own it and be playful. This is how you're going to win her over. Now, if you're looking for specific text messages that you can send her, whether it's through text, through dating apps, whatever, I want you to know that I have hundreds of scripts prepared for you in my program called the How to Text Manual. And I'll link that right below. And those you can use for any occurrences in different situations. Another thing to keep in mind when winning a woman over via text is the use of callbacks, guys. What this basically is when you reference something she told you in a previous conversation. When you do this, you are showing her that you're paying attention to what she's saying to you and that you care enough to remember and reference it. It can be something like, hey, I remember you mentioned you liked this show, so I started watching it. And then tell her what you think about the show that you started watching. Or you can say something like this. Remember how you said you had this amazing tiramisu when you were in New York? I actually tried one at this new restaurant, and I feel like it might rival the one you had. You want to go? See, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just show her that you've been listening and absorbing what she's been sharing with you. And last but not least, we need to talk about compliments, because there is a fine art to this through text. A lot of guys that I work with tell me that they try to compliment the woman that they like, and somehow they wind up getting friend zoned or in the nice guy. Okay. Don't focus on compliments. Okay, guys, that's all I got to say. I know it can be confusing, but there is such a thing as too much complimenting. You're already complimenting her with all of these text examples that I've given you, by the way, but indirectly. So the best thing to do is to give her thoughtful and heartfelt compliments if you feel like you really want to do this. But find a really nice balance with banter and flirtation in it as well. You want to find the sweet spot between the two, or that she understands that you're interested, but also doesn't feel like you're too obsessed with her, because that's, my friends, is probably the biggest turnoff. We want to be able to enjoy the moment with you. So yes, compliment her if you want. Tell her about how you really like her taste in music, or that she has some of the most beautiful eyes you've ever seen, but don't overdo it if you've already said this. Sometimes, not always, because you don't want to be predictable, follow it up with some banter like, oh, I better reel it in before you start thinking I have a massive crush on you or something, right? You can follow that up with after a compliment. This works great. Say it with a wink or a smile so she knows you're messing around. So guys, moral of the story is that if you want to win a woman over through text messages, you have to use open-ended questions that will help you get to know her and help her to feel a connection to you. Then you can sprinkle in some texts and some flirting as you get to know each other better and better, especially after you first date and go out one-on-one. Then you can use hooks to spark her interest and get her engaged in conversation with you. Also remember to use callbacks, so make sure you reference things that she's told you in previous conversations so that she feels that you are present. This is going to help her feel more connected to you. And then you have to work on striking that sweet spot between compliments and banter. With this, guys, you are going to have such an easy time getting her to fall for you. I can't wait for you to get started, not only with the text messages I gave here, but in my how to text manual. I'll link that below. And make sure you share any of these lines that you love to say with women in the comments below so we can help each other out. As always, I'll see you soon. And if you want to continue staying on this channel, I have the next video right over here for you to continue watching. It's called Do Nice Guys Really Finish Last? I'll see you there, and remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.